Imagine waking up one morning, stepping outside and realizing everything you've worked for is gone. Your crops failed, your bank account empty, your farm on the edge of being taken away, and eventually, just a few years later, that same farmer becomes a millionaire. Not by luck, not by magic, but by changing the way he thinks. This is the story of how one farmer lost everything and then built it all back, bigger than ever. And along the way, there are lessons in this story that could change the way you think about money, risk, and opportunity forever. Hello, my name is Acre Legend, the YouTube channel dedicated to educating and inspiring the next generation of farmers, or anyone looking to get into farming, no matter how big or small. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay connected in the worlds of farming and finance. Let's get into it. Part 1, the beginning. Once upon a time, there was a farmer named Daniel. Daniel didn't grow up rich. He didn't inherit a massive farm. All he had was a small piece of land, about 80 acres, and a big dream. He loved farming. Every morning, he'd wake up before the sun, walk his fields, and imagine what his farm could become someday. But there was one problem. Daniel believed that working harder was the only way to succeed. So he worked longer hours, he planted more crops, he pushed himself to the limit. And for a while, it seemed like it was working. His yields improved, his income slowly grew, and he thought, I just need to keep doing more of this. Hard work is important, but it's not the whole story. Part 2, the fall. Then one year, everything changed. That season started with promise. Daniel planted more acres than ever before. He even took out a loan to expand. But then, the rain stopped. Weeks passed, the soil dried up. His crops began to struggle. And just when things couldn't get worse, prices dropped. The crops he did harvest were worth far less than he expected. Let's break it down simply. He spent nearly everything he had on seed, fertilizer, and fuel. Borrowed money to expand, and when harvest came, he couldn't even cover his costs. By the end of the season, his savings were gone, he was deep in debt, and the bank was knocking on his door. Daniel sat at his kitchen table one night, staring at the numbers. I did everything right, he thought. I worked harder than ever, so why did I fail? And that's when he realized something important. He didn't fail because he didn't work hard enough. He failed because he didn't understand how money works. You can do everything right and still fail if you don't understand the system you're playing in. Part 3, the shift. For the first time in his life, Daniel stopped asking, how can I work harder? And started asking, how can I work smarter? He began learning, not just about farming, but about money, risk, and strategy. He discovered something that changed everything. Most successful farmers don't rely on just one source of income. They build multiple streams, so Daniel made a plan. Instead of risking everything on crops, he would start small and diversify. Here's what he did. He used his equipment to do custom work for neighbors. He rented out a portion of his land instead of farming all of it himself. And he took a part-time job during the off-season. At first it didn't feel like much, but slowly, the pressure started to ease. Money began coming in from different directions. And for the first time in a long time, Daniel could breathe. When all your income comes from one place, your risk is high. When it comes from many places, your risk shrinks. Part 4, the rebuild. Over the next few years, Daniel didn't try to get rich quickly. He focused on something much more powerful, stability. He kept doing custom work. He kept renting out part of his land, and whenever he made extra money, he didn't spend it, he invested it. At first it was small amounts, but over time, those small decisions started to add up. Then one day, an opportunity came. A nearby farmer decided to sell his land. Most people saw it as too risky, but Daniel saw something different. He had saved money, he had steady income, and most importantly, he had a plan. So he took a calculated risk. He bought the land, not because he wanted to gamble, but Because he was finally in a position to afford the risk. Risk isn't dangerous when you're prepared for it. It's dangerous when you're not. Part 5. The Breakthrough. That decision changed everything. With more land, Daniel could expand, but this time he didn't repeat his old mistakes. He didn't rely on just crops. He built a system. Some land he farmed, some land he rented out. He continued custom work, and he kept investing his extra income. Now, instead of one risky stream, he had multiple stable ones. Year after year, his income grew, his debt shrank, and eventually, Daniel reached something he never thought possible. He became a millionaire, not overnight, not through luck, but through discipline, strategy, and learning from failure. So what can we learn from Daniel's story? Here are the lessons you should never forget. Hard work alone is not enough. Understanding money is just as important as making it. Multiple income streams create stability. Smart risks build wealth. Reckless ones destroy it. And failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of learning. Because the truth is, losing everything didn't ruin Daniel. It forced him to become the kind of person who could build something even greater. And maybe the most important lesson of all, sometimes you have to lose everything to finally understand how to win.